Down into that river like a man with nothing left. Cold bit deep as a borrowed debt. Water poured hard at the sins he kept, tugging at the bones where his demons slept. Now hung low like a busted cross, where it went cut sharp through the weight he lost. He thought that river drag him clean, wash him out like it never been seen. But when he planted both boots steady and wide, that wild dark current changed his mind. It split clean around his legs like a bowed down prayer, flowing past his name like it on him there. He muttered, low river, what you see in him? Ripple rose back to fight you buried thin. Sounded like God speaking through the dark cold flood, saying, boy, stand firm, you're more than mud. If the river bends cause he stands his ground, then he ain't kneeling ever again. If the water learns his name by sound, then he'll rise through judgment and pain. Got dust on his jaw, old scars on his skin, a rust bent cross where his past been pinned. If the river steps back just to let him in, then he's stronger now than he's ever been. He saw her face in the river's glass, wild love eyes from a younger past. She warned him once, don't drown in shame, but he dove head first in the weight of his name. Now the water showed a silhouette thin, like a ghost carved out of who he'd been. He reached one hand, but the river slid, not pulling him down, just showing what he did. He pulled his knife from a soaking boot, steel shined dull like a dying truth. He cut his palm till the red ran bright, held it to the current in the moon cold night. But the river spat back the blood he bled. Didn't want his guilt, didn't want him dead. It whispered through the current's twist, stand your ground, you were born for this. He growled, if you test him, he won't break. River his back, then rise for your sake. He clenched his fist, boots sinking slow, said a man don't run when the water says no. If the river bends cause he stands his ground, then he'll stand till storms fall still. If the water breaks shape to circle round, then he's more than the man he tried to kill. Got dust on his jaw, old scars on his skin, a heart still beating where the dog's been in. If the river steps back just to bow to him, then he'll rise iron strong, limb by limb. And he ain't clean, but he's carved in fight, a cold bright force in the dead of night. If the river makes room for the man within, then the world damn sure will answer him. That wouldn't quit, dust on my boots, passed on my spit. Moon hanging crooked like a busted sign, road stretching out like it hated mine. My shadow ran long out ahead of my stride, looked like a man I'd buried inside. It stretched so far and near tore free, like it wanted out, run the worst in me. So I stopped just dead to flee my name, but the damn thing froze like it knew my blame. Slow as mercy, it turned back around, standing in front like it claimed my ground. I said, you leaving, boy, you done with me. Shadow answered back, walk who you meant to be. Sounded like God in a whiskey draw, saying follow through or don't walk at all. If my shadow keeps walking first, then I'll damn well follow through. If the dog knows where I'm headed, then my bones sure ought to too. Got smoke in my breath, old sins on my skin, across on my neck that remembers where I've been. If my shadow leads the way tonight, then I'll walk the man it sees in the light. I saw a face in the dust I kicked, wild love eyes that never quite fixed. I left her standing by the chapel gate. Chose pride, chose guns, chose a meaner fate. My shadow showed a silhouette then, like a ghost carved out of what I'd been. I reached for it once, it stepped aside. Didn't want comfort, just wanted pride. I pulled my knife from the black of my belt, steel cold as the truths I never dealt. I sliced my thumb, gave the knife my red, pressed it down where the shadow fled. Blood hit dirt, but the shadow stayed, standing tall like it wasn't afraid. It whispered low through the desert grid, stand behind me, you ain't done with it. I snarled, if you lead, then I'll keep pace. Shadow hissed, then earn your place. I took one breath like a loaded gun, said I'll walk my truth till the damn thing's done. If my shadow keeps walking first, then I'll chase what I used to fear. If the dark steps up to guide me, then I'll rise and meet it clear. Got smoke in my breath, old sins on my skin, scars on my chest where the storm sunk in. If my shadow leads the way tonight, then I'll follow hard through the endless night. Out ground. If the dark walks first to test what's true, then I'll damn well follow through.
I was stuck in a canyon where the sun don't climb, boots dragging slow through the dust of time. A stone sat heavy in a narrow way, same damn place where I lost my say. I pushed that rock with a sinner's pride, shoulders burning like the fire inside. It didn't budge, not a whisper or sway, just stood there staring back like it knew my shame. I leaned in hard, near ready to break, dust in my teeth, hands starting to shake. But right when quitting crawled into my chest, that stone trembled once, then rolled one step. I muttered, you moving for me, or mocking me some. Here goes shot back, finish what you begun. Felt like the earth itself said, low and run. What tang the lead, I didn't run. If a mountain moves for me once, then I'll move the rest myself. If the dirt don't crush me down, then I'll climb out of my hell. Got blood on my knuckles, old sins in my lungs, a rusted chain cross where my pride once hung. If the rock rolls
rose once for a man like me, then I'll push till the whole damn range breaks free. I saw a face in that canyon wind, wild love as I once let in. She told me then, don't run from weight, but I ran anyway, sealed my fate. I knelt by the stone like a busted vow, thumb on a crack, running east to now. Pulled out my knife, drew blood from skin, let a drop fall slow where the break begins. The ground pulled back like it didn't no more, like even the canyon remember before. A voice in the dust rose up to say, stand on your sin, don't throw it away. I pressed my palm on the rock so cold, heat from my bones hit the weathered old. Felt like the stone, answered back through grit. You move your soul, I just mirror it. I whispered, Lord, if you see me bleed, canyon growl back, then rise and lead. I straightened up slow, spit dust aside, said a man worth measured by how he tried. If a mountain moves for me once, then I'll move the rest myself. If the stone steps back when I push through pain, then I'll build my path from the weight I felt. The blood on my knuckles, old sins in my lungs, a cross that still burns where my failures hung. If the rock rolls once for a man like me, then I'll push till the whole damn world breaks free. Clean, but I ain't bowed down. My steps hit hard on this canyon ground. If the earth steps back when I rise today, then I was born to climb, not fade away. Desert midnight, boots dragging more than walking. Heat goes still rising off the cracked black top. Though the sun been gone for hours, wind was dead, I was damn near dead with it.
Camera wide shot a single lane road vanishing into a starless dark.
I stopped right there, hands on my knees, breath cut like barbed wire. Figured the world would let me fold, but a gust kicked sand hard at my heels, a mean little shove, saying move, boy. I spat dust, muttered into the night, not you too. I'm tired of being pushed, but the road didn't care about time, didn't care about sins or how many graves I dug inside myself. It only answered the man who still stood, even crooked. If the road kicks me forward, then I'll damn well keep moving. If the wind ain't letting me fall, then I ain't losing. I'll drag my shame through hellfire, walk as long as breath's still proving that if the highway crucifix half buried, a rusted tin cross someone left behind, glint like a relic from a sinner's church. I now press two fingers to it, a small outlaw ritual, a bargain with whatever skies still watch me, keep me going, I said, or get out of my way. The wind answered first, wrapping around my shoulders like a judgment, but not a punishment, a dare. And I don't walk away from days. If the road kicks me forward, then I'll damn well keep moving. If the night don't swallow me down, then I'm improving. Every sin that tried to break me, I'm done proving. 'Cause if the highway shoves me onward, I rise and I keep moving. And as the wind carved a path in the dust before me, I whispered the truth, I finally believe. If the road refuses to let me stop, then I ain't stopping till I'm worth a mile. He dropped to his knees in the middle of that dead highway, dust sticking to the sweat on his face, breath cut short like he'd been running from God and himself too long. Camera tilts up, the night should have gone black, should have buried him quiet. But the stars bright and stripes of silver lined up above him, straight as a trail he'd been refusing to walk. He squinted up, muttered through cracked lips, don't shine for me now. I ain't earned nothing. The sky didn't listen, it glowed harder, like heaven was asking him if he still had fight left. He felt that old guilt pull on his spine, sin stacked heavy, hope thin as twine. But the brighter them stars burned down on his skin, the more he felt a reason to rise again. If the sky shines harder when he breaks, then he'll rise harder too, no matter what it takes. If the dark won't swallow him when he falls, then he'll stand back up and outshine it all. Stars draw lines like a map of his scars, telling him he ain't as ruined as he thinks he are. If heaven won't dim when he's losing the fight, then hell can't claim him, not tonight. Cracked asphalt warm from yesterday's sun. A ghost of himself walked beside him, the man he used to be, proud but blind. Ghost asked, you giving up, boy? He stared forward, just once like an answer.
He took that spark as a day, as a call, as a promise in the air. If the stars saw worth in him still, then he'd rise by force or by will. If the sky shines harder when he breaks, then he'll rise harder too. Shake mountains away. If the night won't dim when he's falling apart, then he'll glue every crack with blood and heart. Them bright lines draw a path through his pain, telling him storms don't win. Not while he remains. If the heavens light up when he's down on his knees, then he'll stand tall, cause he knows what that means. And when dawn crawls out of that cold blue rim, he'll walk toward his slow jaw set eyes grim, muttering one truth, the stars carved into him. If the sky won't dim when I break, and I ain't breaking, I'm beginning again.
I slid my back down that old oak trunk. Midnight fall, crawling low through the field. Hands shaking from running too long from the world, and from the parts of me I hated most.
Wide shot, moonlight catching the rough bark, my shadow long and crooked.
I figured the tree pushed me off like everything else I leaned on, but the damn thing tilted toward me instead. Just a hair, like it wasn't helping, just testing if I could still stand. I muttered, half laughing, half bleeding, don't you dare pity me, old friend. I felt the weight of every lie I told, every sin I tried to plant in the dirt, crawling up my spine again. But that oak held firm, waiting for me to hold firm too. If even wood holds me up, then I'll hold myself up better. If the world don't shove me down, hell sure won't get the pleasure. I'll drag my guilt through fire, burn clean if I got to. Cause if that old tree leans for me, I damn sure lean back true. Like a preacher's judgment, branches rattle like bones in a sermon, and I swear I heard a voice in the leaves whisper, stand on your own. I clench my jaw, snap back, you talking to me, you're the man I used to be. Low angle, the tree towering, roots thick like veins of the earth, bark scarred like my damn soul. I reach for the chain on my neck, my mother's small iron cross, warm from my skin, cold from my sins, a ritual of grit, thumb on the metal breast, steady a vow formed without words. The tree didn't move again, it made its point. My knees shook, but not from fear, from the truth getting clearer. If the ground don't break under me now, I'm the only thing holding me down.
then I hold myself up better. If the storm don't knock me flat, then I'm tougher than the weather. I walk through every reckoning sin strapped to my back, and if that old tree lean for me, I'll rise to the world leads back. Stars cut a path through the dark above. Wind hums low like a half-forgot love. If faith don't come easy, then I'll carve it out of bone, and I'll stand on my own damn legs till the dirt calls me home.
And I left that field whispering one truth I finally believed: if even wood holds me up, I got no right to fall.
Midnight dirt was black as coal, and I was dragging out my soul across it. Sky hung low like judgment, wind cut sharp like it knew every wrong I'd committed. I stepped once, earth swallowed it like it always did. But my second step, ground lit soft, a little glow in the pit I slid. Camera pans down, footprints flickering like dying lanterns, heating the dust like someone waiting for me to finally learn. I mutter to the dark, hell, you watching me fall again. The light in the dirt answers back, saying fall forward, son, now where you been? So I stare at that glow in the mud, thinking about sin, thinking about blood. If dirt remembers every step I take, maybe it's time I give it something good. If the ground lights where I fall, then I'm falling forward. Ain't scared at all. If the dark keeps track of every scar I drag, then I'll drag 'em proud. I'll wear that flag. My footprints burn like a half-made prayer, like the Lord's asking why I'm still standing there. If the earth shines back when I hit low, then I rise again and again I'll go. And again I'll go. I walk past the ridge where I lost that fire, blood dry brown on the stone still waiting. I see a ghost of me kneeling there, hands shaking, bread breaking. He asks, you running again or you finally changing? I spit in the dust, watch me stand, watch me quit escaping. Camera pulls back, each footprint flares brighter now like a path I didn't earn. Yet a ritual of steps, ashes glowing blue where my boots set. I take a deep breath, press my palm to the warm dust. Faith and dirt me like a pact I ain't forget. Feels like the earth itself whispering, move on, your sins ain't done with you yet. So I brace my hands on my knees, talking to God, talking to me. If I fall again, I say I fall where I'm meant to be. If the ground lies where I fall, then I'll fall forward through it all. If heaven's watching my boots caught flame, I keep stepping, I ain't ashamed. Every mark I leave is a bruise of light, proof I fought, not proof I'm right. If the dirt shines back each time I break, then I'll break on purpose till I remain. against that charcoal land. I look back, see fire where my footsteps stand. I'll smile once, low, rough tide. If the ground gives me glow in the dark, I'll build my own damn light. I'll build my
Cold morning light hitting that busted fence line, breath hanging wide in the air. I dig through the dirt where my old man fell, finding the cross he used to wear. Metal's ice burn cold like it remembers every sin I drag around. But when my fingers close on it, it warms slow as a heartbeat rising from underground. Camera pushes in, cracked knuckles, dirt under every nail. When whispering scripture I ain't raised, but hell, I know the tale. I mutter, oh man, you're still out here, still watching me try not to fail. The cross heats deeper like it's saying stand up, finish what you direct. Can you really trust me, old man? It answers in heat I can't deny, saying rise, boy, rise and stand. If the cross warms when I grip it tight, then I ain't running from my blood tonight. If fate decides I'm worth one more fight, I'll swing back hard, I'll set my wrongs right. Got sins like stones in a burlap sack, got ghosts that claw at my shadow's back. But if I lives in this broken sign, then God once told him I'd change, then walked away. Dust swirls like spirits circling, judging every promise I let decay. I kneel in the dirt, press a warm cross against a scar that ain't healed since last May. Pain hums through bone, kinda holy, kinda like something making room for a new way. A shadow steps out, my reflection in the window of an old rusty truck. He smirks like he knows every coward thing I ducked. I tell him, you ain't leading me no more, your time's up. When hits hard, cross in my hand glows like ember from a judgment cup. So I grit my teeth at the sky, saying test me, damn it, try. He climbs up my wrist slow like faith crawling back to life. If the cross warms when I grip it tight, then I ain't breaking in no desert night. If heaven sends one spark my way, I'll bleed for it, I'll walk through the fray. Got sin in my breath, but strength in my palm. A fire that ain't mine but keeps me calm. If faith burns warm and a cross half broke, I'll rise from dust, I'll breathe through smoke. And when dawn grows over that ridge of stone, I'll lift that cross and whisper low. If you still burn for me, then I'll burn till I'm old.
Midnight on a dead highway, dust cutting my throat raw. I whisper my own damn name, thinking no one ever hear it all. But the wind grabs it, doesn't toss it back behind me like a curse, carries it forward like it knows where the hell I'm headed first. Camera pans wide, old black sky, moon like a cracked cone, boot steps drag, guilt hanging on me like a rusty chain I joined. I spit blood on the dirt, mutter, maybe I'm done, maybe this is where it ends. Wind slaps my face sharp like a friend saying stand up, don't pretend. So I asked that night breeze, what the hell you want with me? It howls back low, walk, boy, walk where you're meant to be. If the wind carries my name ahead, then I ain't walking back to who I was. If the sky knows my next damn step, I'll trust that pull, even if it cuts. Got sin in my chest, wild love in my blood, across my neck, still heavy with mud. If the storm pushes me forward through dust and dread, then I move with it, ain't letting fear be fed. I pass an old roadside chapel, windows busted, cross half burned. Inside I see a shadow sitting, a woman I once loved, or maybe the ghost of how I burned. She don't speak, but her eyes cut deep, saying you ran 'cause you were scared to stay. Wind rolls through the doorway, blowing her image away like ash on Judgment Day. Tell that wind, if you know where I'm going, then you better lead it clean. It answers with a low, long push, like a hand shoving me toward things unseen. If the wind carries my name ahead, then I ain't dying in the dirt tonight. If the sky chooses not to bury me, I'll stand back up, I'll walk toward the fight. Got sin in my chest, but strength in my bones, up past their claws, but don't break thrones. If the storm pulls me forward through dust and dread, then hell or heaven, I'll follow where I'm led. And when dawn finally hits the barren stretch of land, I'll whisper back to the wind, I'm here. Now show me where a man can Now show me where a man can stand.
shack, roof half gone, door leaning back. Cold wind twisting through busted frames, whispering rumors about your old mistakes. There's a lantern sitting by the splintered wall, glass fogged over like a preacher's fall. You reach your hand through the dark and dust, shaking from a mix of rage and rust. But before your skin can touch that tin, the damn thing blooms with a wounded grin. Soft gold light like a Thai confession, glowing just enough to mark your direction. You mumble, why'd you burn for me? The light flicks back, walk first to see. Feels like God or guilt to both combined, saying you move and I'll stay right behind. If the light meets you halfway, then you walk the other half alone. If a dead lamp sparks before your touch, then you're stronger than you've known. Got sin in your chest, old love in your bones, a cross on your neck that still feels like stone. If the lantern burns with your truth inside, then step on through, leave nothing to hide. Shadows crawl across the crooked floor, looking like ghosts you forgot before. One shape rises, a woman's form, eyes like storms you once ignored. Her voice drifts low, you ran from me. You answer back, I ran from who I be. The lantern flares like it heard you both, judging the weight of regret and knows. You kneel down slow on the cabin tile, pull from your coat a torn up file. Names you wrong, the things you hid, every damn truth you never did. You strike a match with a rebel's hand, hold it above the paper stand, but the lantern leans its fire away, as if to say burn what keeps you from today. You asked if I start clean, who am I then? Light answers, the man who don't run again. You grit your teeth, whisper let it be. Flame curls the page and a memory. If the light meets you halfway, then you walk the other half alone. If the past goes up in smoke tonight, then the future is yours to own. Got sin in your chest, but strength in your bones. A heart built rough from dust and thrones. If the lantern burns with your truth inside, then step out strong, no place to hide. And when dawn hits rust on the canyon stone, you'll know the fire lit itself, 'cause you finally stood your ground alone. You move first, the light follows.
I fell hard on them grayback hills, breath cut short, blood running chills. Sky hung low like it meant to crush, wind blowing cold on the sins I hush. My heartbeat slammed like a hammer on steel, pounding out truths I ain't meant to feel. Thought the dirt would swallow the sound I made, buried a man I let fade. But the pulse came back from the hills above, loud as thunder, rough as love. Every echo hit harder than the last, saying I wasn't buried in my past. I muttered, Lord, that you knocking back. Hills growl low for your own damn track. Feel like the world said cold and clear, and boy, you're alive, stand up from here. If there ever beats my pulse, then I ain't close to dying yet. If the dirt don't claim my weight, then I ain't paying off that debt. Got dust in my teeth, old wounds on my chest, a cross at my throat where regret takes rest. If the hills shout back the beat I give, then I rise again. I rise to live. I saw her face in the red line shade, wild love flame I couldn't escape. She warned me once, don't carved down guilt and blame. Now the hills carved out her shadow thin, a silhouette of what might have been. I touched the dirt, her image lay like reaching back to a younger day. Pulled my knife from the belt I wore, steel door red like a half-healed war. Cut my thumb, let the blood hit ground, watching the soil drink every sound. But the earth spit back that crimson thread, didn't want my guilt, didn't want me dead. It whispered low through the wind's cold twist, stand your ground, finish what you missed. I said, if you call me, I'm coming through. As echo back, make good be true. I roll slow like a man reborn. Said pain ain't purpose, but it keeps from fleeting. Swallow past my pulse, and I ain't close to dying yet. If the hills push back my breath, and they're telling me don't forget. Got dust in my teeth, old wounds on my chest. A soul forged me from the fights unblessed. If the hills shout back the beat I give, then I'll rise again. I'll rise to live. And I ain't clean, but I still stand tall. Boots dug deep in the dirt of it all. If the earth gives me answers and won't let me fade, then I'll walk on strong, unafraid. I climbed that ridge with a heart half gone. Sky hung low like a tombstone drawn. Cold bit deep through my jacket seam. Night crawling in like a bad old dream. I yelled my hurt at the mountain face, all that shame I tried to chase. Voice cracked cruel like a broke down gear, spitting out every ghost, every fear. But the echo came back, hard and clean, only the strong parts, not the weak, I scream. Cliffs swallow the trembling tears, let me facing only what a man should hear. I muttered, Lord, you hear the rest. Don't answer low, stand be your best. Sounded like the rocks grew a voice of their own, saying fear ain't worth the breath you throw. If the mountain ignores my fear, then I will too, I swear. If the stone only echoes strength, then that's the man left standing there. Got dust on my mouth, old sins in my chest, a cross in my pocket where guilt won't rest. If the cliff throws back the best in me, then I rise through hell who I'm meant to be. Shape in the shell-cut line, wild love eyes I had left behind. She whispered once, don't fear your name, but I ran from truth hid inside my shame. Now the ridge carved out a shadow thin, a reminder of where I've been. I pressed my hand to the stone so cold, felt the strength of things too old to fold. Pulled my knife from the belt I wore, steel dull red like a half-healed war. Cut my thumb till the blood ran bright, marked that rock in the fading light. But the mountain rejected the blood I bled, didn't drink my guilt, didn't want me dead. The wine rose up with a gravity cheer, stand up straight, drown out your fear. I said, if you test me, I don't run. Stone rumble back, then rise, my son. I clenched my fist, wipe tears with dust. Scrawled a man gets forged where the cliffs don't trust. If the mountain ignores my fear, then I don't know it any breath. If the stone sends back my strength, then I ain't close to meeting death. Got dust on my mouth, old sins in my chest. A soul built rough where the storms confessed. If the cliff throws back the best in me, then I'll climb that rich, hard, wild freedom. Fearless, yeah. Fearless, yeah. Walk straight into the storm like a man out of time. Cold rain hitting hard like a dead past due on crime. Wind scream sharp through the canyon's throat. Lightning crawling down like a hangman's rope. Hail hit his back with a preacher's spite. Sky's gone black as a buried night. He lifted his face with a curse half-breathe, daring the heavens to strike to see. But right when hate rose up in his chest, rain above him paused, just one small rest. A perfect ring of quiet in the roaring fall, as if the storm itself gave him room to stand tall. He muttered, God, you mocking me now? Thunder rolled back, stand, learn how. Sounded like judgment in a storm's deep tone, saying, fire what breaks, you don't kneel alone. If the storm pauses once for him, he'll fight till it parts again. If the rain pulls back from his shoulders, then he ain't bowing to no wind. Got mud on his name, old scars in his chest, a cross in his pocket where regret won't rest. If the sky makes space for the man he is, then he'll rise through hell, storm or bliss. Storm or bliss. He saw a shape in the curtain of rain, wild love fire behind a window pane. She once told him, don't let storms guide you, but he followed thunder, not the truth he knew. Now the rain drew her image then, a ghost lifted from the sins within. He reached up slowly, fingers cracked, touching the cold where her face looked back. He pulled his chain from his chest that day, silver bent from the fights in his way. He pressed it to the rain, but the drops held still, like the sky refused to wash his will. So he cut his thumb with a rough steel edge, blood warm running down like a living pledge. Held it to the storm with a whispered plea, wash what broke, leave what's left of me. But the storm threw back every crimson bead, didn't want his guilt, didn't want him freed. Wind hit slow with a cold demand, rise on your feet, reclaim your land. He snarled, if you test him, he won't fall. Ain't cracked back then, stand through it all. He squared his shoulders in the frozen den, said I fight to the break, I don't cave in. If the storm pauses once for him, then he ain't close to losing yet. If the rain lifts once from his crown, then he ain't paying the whole damn debt. Got mud on his name, old scars in his chest, a heart still drumming where the storms contest. If the sky makes space for the man he stands, then he walks on strong through the thunder's lands. And he ain't healed, but he's born from fire. Boots hitting hard in the ghost wet night. If the storm bows once to the truth he's made, then he'll break it next, not break it.
Frost on my boots, guilt in my coat. Sky was bruised like a beaten drum. Night crawling in like trouble gone. Three wolves stood high on a ridgeline bone. Eyes glowing red where the moonlight shone. I thought they'd jump, tear me down to dirt, pay me back for the folks I hurt. But they held still, heads bowing low. Breath fog swirling in the cold night glow. Didn't look scared, didn't look wild, just waiting on me like a long lost child. I muttered, y'all hunting me down tonight. Wind whispered back, stand, earn your right. Sounded like God through a wolf's deep growl, saying be the man behind that howl. If the wild wave's on my signal, then I leave my damn life from now on. If the beast don't see me run, then the fear in me is gone. Got mud on my name, old sins on my skin, a cross on my chest where redemption's thin. If the pack steps back just about to me, then I walk ahead. The man I'm meant to be. I saw her face in the rich side dark, while a fire with a wounded spark. She told me once your blood runs me, but she never saw what the hills have seen. The wolf circled once but stayed in place, like they recognized something in my face. Not strength, not pride, but a man who broke, living off whiskey, dust and smoke. I pulled my knife with a quiet breath, still scarred deep like I held in death. Cut my palm to the river and won't let it drip down slow in the cold night storm. But the wolf stepped back, didn't want my blood, didn't crave revenge, didn't call for flood. One growl low with a warning instinct, stand tall or you ain't leading anything. I said if you test me I won't fall, when push back then stand like you're told. I clench my fist, wipe the blood with dust, said I leave my life, not run from trust. If the wild waits on my signal, then I'm done being scared of the past. If the wolves don't come to break me, then I rise built to last. Got mud on my name, old sins on my skin, a heart still beating with a dog spinning. If the pack steps back just about to me, then I walk ahead, claiming who I'm meant to be. And I ain't clean, but I'm caught from fight. Boots hit hard on the ridge tonight. If the wild looks up when I stand tall, then I leave. Oh, I don't walk at all.
That branch in a dead man's field, boots sinking slow where the night don't yield. Flame shot up like it meant you harm, throwing red hot tea down your arm. Heat rolled out like a hellhound's breath, glowing wild with the taste of death. You stepped in close, jaw set like a stone, ready for the hurt you've earned alone. But when your hand reached
what you want from me. Flame crack back, show who you're meant to be. Sounded like God speaking from a furnace throat, or the devil saying, stand, don't float.
If the flame steps aside for you, then you walk straight through your hell. If the fire won't scorch your skin, it's 'cause it knows your will too well. Got ash in your lungs, old scars on your chest, a cross on your neck that survived every test. If the blaze makes room for the man you've been, then you rise and burn, not bow again.
You saw her face in the fire's red rim, wild love eyes that once drowned in. She whispered once, don't fear the light, but you chose guns, roads and fights at night. Now the flame showed a shape so thin, like a ghost pulled out of your sin. You reach one hand, the fire leaned wide. Didn't want softness, only pride. You pulled your knife from your back bill's hide, steel flaring sharp like a wounded guy. You cut your palm, let the blood drip slow, held it to the heat in the ember glow. But the fire spat back, the red you bled, didn't want your guilt, didn't want you dead. It whispered low through the crackling flare, walk your truth if you dare. You growled, if you test me, I won't crawl. Fire hissed and burned through it all. You close your fist, breath iron rough, said I've bled enough, now I get tough. If the flame steps aside for you, then you're meant to walk the blaze. If the heat curves back in respect, then you rise through judgment day. Got ash in your lungs, old scars on your chest, a soul forged hard from the nights you confess. If the fire makes room for the man you are, then you walk like hell towards your own damn star. And you ain't clean, but you're still standing, boots in the dirt where fate's demanding. If the flames bow once to the truth in you, then burn on through like you're born to do.